So the topic we are treating is word formation processes. As I'm talking now, I believe I'm sharing my screen with you, for those who can see. I don't know those who still have problem with network and cannot see. So,
Please, some of.
hello.
Hi, Doc. We can hear you. We can see your screen, please.
So we have word formation processes. Things with word formation processes. The first one I will talk about here is compounding or compounding, or better, you can just call it compounds. What is a compound? Those of you who did a bit of chemistry or science, we talk about compounds. It's a mixture of two items or elements. I've forgotten my chemistry, so I cannot mention the things as precisely. But I'm not teaching chemistry here. I just want to use that one to prepare your mind for what you are coming to teach, to learn. So what we do is that in compounding, two words which are existing in language, two words that are existing are added to each other to form a new word. Words that have their own meaning in a language. It is not words that have their own meaning. You can look them up in a dictionary, but you can bring them together from another word. For example, class, classroom. When we talk about class, we can look class up the dictionary. Probably a group of students who are studying, they form a class. A room, probably an enclosed space where somebody lives or somebody does something. So when we say classroom, we have brought two items together to form another word. That is compounding. This is not difficult. It's something that we do even at the lower academic levels. So can we have examples of compounds as far as you know?
Classmate.
Okay.
Classmate.
I heard classmates. I heard it.
Cupboard.
Okay.
Billboard.
Okay.
Broomstick.
Okay.
Second pause.
Okay.
Second pause.
Okay.
Dining hall.
Okay.
Right.
Very good.
Roommate.
Now, these examples, if you can see my screen now, you can see examples of compound or compounding. Compounding is a process actually. When the words are brought together, we call them compounds. And in the process, compounds, if you are referring to the formation process. So you can see some examples here: notebook, postgraduate, undergraduate, highlight, wallpaper, fingerprint. Now, but I'll post to you some PDF file, a document which you read. Then you will see that compounds, there are three categories of compounds. Compounds that are written as one word, they put them together, no space, no hyphen. Some of those are the things we have here, like notebook. When it's written, it appears as though it's one word, no space, no hyphen. Postgraduate, some people write it as one word. Highlight, that one must be one word. Fingerprint. But then there are some compounds that must take a hyphen. No matter the situation, it must take a hyphen. Can we think of some compounds that must necessarily have a hyphen between them?
Operation.
Mother-in-law.
Okay.
In charge.
Okay. Only that.
Blood pressure.
Well-being.
Blood pressure. Is there a hyphen? Blood pressure.
Not
Is there a
well
hyphen?
known.
Well
No.
known. Okay. Well known. Well known. Okay. Well known artist.
Well-being.
Pardon?
Well-being.
Okay. Yes. Well-being. Well-being. Yes. Well-being. Yes. Okay. Yes. Cooperation or cooperation. Yes. It must be a hyphen. Now, if you, for some of these things, if you don't place a hyphen between them, whoever is reading your work may not understand it. For example, somebody can read well-being as well-being. But if you place a hyphen between them, everybody knows how to read it. If you have something like a mother-in-law, if you don't put a hyphen between them, somebody can choose to read mother-in-law as if he's trying to read the words one by one. But if you place a hyphen between them, then everybody knows how to read it. There are some compounds that are also not written together and they don't have hyphen between them. But you can see a space, you can see space between them. You can see space between them, but they are considered as compounds. For example, if you get something like vice chancellor, normally you will not write it with a hyphen. Vice chancellor, you don't have it with a hyphen. And they cannot be written together as one word, but it's a compound. Or maybe vice president. Can you think of examples like that?
Post office.
Okay, yes. Okay. That's a good example.
Well known.
Ice cream.
Well-known artist.
Solar system.
Okay, solar system. But at least I wouldn't mention well-known as something that needs a hyphen or. It's all right. Solar system, yes.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Is it one word or separate words? Some writers will write it as
It's one word.
it's one word. It depends on different writers, and also sometimes the American English and the British English they create a lot of problem. They create problem for us, but it's all right. So now we have compounds. Now the meaning of the compound sometimes comes from the individual words. For example, football is a ball that is kicked by foot or is played by foot. Classroom is a room where a class or classes are held. Maybe bedroom, maybe a place you place your bed and you sleep. However, it is not always the case that you can get the meaning of the compounds from the original words. If it is something like hot dog is not a dog that is hot. What is hot dog? Hello.
Hello, dog. Hot dog is one of the junk food that people consume.
Okay, so
It could be bread and
so we know
something.
that hot dog is not actually dog that is hot, at least it's food or something. Then if you have something like greenhouse, let's say greenhouse effect, or so greenhouse in this case, is it a house that is green? So you can see that even though you have green plus house there, it doesn't have to do with house which is green per se. Greenhouse effect. Greenhouse in this context means depletion of the ozone layer or that kind of things. So it is not always the case that the compounds will derive their meaning from the original words. That is it. So compound simply means putting two words together, two full words. They are full. I mean, you pick the whole word as it is and put them side by side. Then they form a new word. The next method that we talk about is what we call blending. Now, if you are familiar with the kitchen, then you probably have to know that what we call blending. Blending, unlike compounds, this point is very important because it's an examination area that I'm talking about now. Something that is an area the examiner can actually hit on. Blending has to do with using parts of existing words, not whole word, like in the case of compounds where you pick one word and you pick another word, just put them side by side. This has to do with what? Using parts, P-A-R-T-S, parts of the original words. You take part of word number one, you take part of word number two, you put it together so you can get a blend, or what we call blending. Of course, blending is a process. For example, you can have something like breakfast plus lunch. Breakfast plus lunch. If you get breakfast plus lunch, you're going to get something they call brunch. Brunch. If you can see my screen, you can see breakfast plus lunch. branch. Now, most of the time, what happens is that the beginning of the first word, plus the end of the second. So BR plus UNCH. You see, it takes the first two letters of the first word on the left-hand side. Then they combine it with the end of the second word. So BR, then when it comes to the second word, we have UNCH becoming branch. There are very interesting examples here. Opoku plus farmer, it can give you Poku farmer, so that it is not always the case that it is the beginning of the first word or the end of it. Sometimes the pattern changes. Malaria plus mixture can give you Malamix. So in this case, it is the beginning of the two words, the beginning of the first one, the two syllables plus the beginning of the second one. Alafia plus typhoid, and get alafoid. This one has to do with the beginning of the first one and the end of the last syllable of the other one. Cybernetic plus organism give you cyborg. Cybernetic plus organism give you cyborg. Probably the beginning of the first one on the left hand side plus the beginning of the second one. Motor plus hotel is equal to motel. Web plus seminar is webinar. Information plus literacy, infolate. So these are some of the things that you will see as putting words, syllables of words together. I think the word Momo also has to do with mobile money. It has to do with beginning of mobile money. Momo, M-O-M-O, the beginning of money plus mobile put together gives us Momo. So that is blending. One topic, one interesting method is also called clipping. Clipping. If you understand the word clip, maybe in this context, let's say you have an orange tree in your house and the branches are growing, they are spreading. And somebody will say, let's clip the branches. Clip in this case doesn't mean that you use a clip to clip it, is you cut it. Even if you are going to have your hair cut, what we use to cut, we call a clipper. So clipping in this case means cutting down something. Now in this case, a word which is long, a long word loses part of its syllables, so that what is left is short. But the long word plus original long word and the newly formed one have the same meaning. So if you have examination and exam, they're the same thing. Only that in some context, somebody will say examination is more formal, but it doesn't matter. If you have laboratory and lab, it's the same. If you have telephone and phone, it's the same. If you have refrigerator and fridge, it's the same. If you have microphone and mic, it's the same. it is, I think it will be instructive for us to differentiate between the various type of clipping. It's possible. It is possible to have the clip in such a way that the end of the word is missing or is gone or is discarded. It is also possible to have the beginning of the word discarded. Now, it's also possible to have the beginning and the end of a word both discarded so that the middle portion is left. When the word loses its syllable on the right hand side, that is the end of it, we call it final clipping. Final clipping means that the final syllable is missing. So you can choose to just say final syllable is cut off. So final clipping. So if you get like advertisement, the teasement or the easement is cut off. What is left is the beginning, which is advert. And then advertisement you can even have ad, the word ad as a short form of advertisement. When you take cablegram, gram is missing or is cut off. We have cable. We have doctor. We have doc. We have gasoline. We have gas. So final clipping, final syllable or syllables are cut off. They are missing. Very possible. So memorandum, memo, pianoforte, piano. It's a repetition. So let's go to the next one. Now we can have initial clipping. Initial clipping means that the initial or the beginning or the first syllable or syllables of the word is missing or are missing, so that it is the end which is left. University, we have varsity. But remember that in this case, the ER is not maintained. We have ER instead of ER. So university, the beginning is cut off. You have varsity, internet, net, telephone, phone, robot, bot, cockroach is roach. It's also possible to have the initial syllable missing, the final syllable missing, and the middle portion is retained. We can have influenza becoming flu, refrigerator becoming fridge. In the case of fridge, remember that there's a bit of modification because the letter D or the sound D is introduced into the system here, which was not part of the original. Okay, so that is clipping. Basically, a long word is shortened so that what is left has the same meaning as the original long word. That is clipping. We can have a process called derivation, which comes from the word derive, to derive something. You want to derive a word by adding a prefix or suffix to the word. You add a prefix or suffix to the original word. So activate, you can add a prefix, so you can have deactivate. Qualify, you can have a prefix, which is, so you can have disqualify, happy, unhappy. pay, repay. You can also add suffixes to words. Suffixes normally come at the end of the word. So preserve plus TION, you have preservation. Quick plus LI, you have quickly. Ball plus ING, you have boring. Ghanaian plus IEN, you have Ghanaian. Teach plus ER, you have teacher. Lecture plus ER or R, you have lecturer. Bank plus ER, you have banker. So this process of adding prefixes or suffixes to words to create new words are called derivation. Derivation. The next process is called conversion. Conversion. To convert something from one part of speech to another part of speech. Basically, that is conversion. What it means is that I can have a word. I can use it as a noun, or I can also use it as a verb. So I can say, I'll send you an email. An email is a noun. Then I can also say, I will mail you, where that email, or maybe I can say, I will email you, where the email, which is a noun, is now used as a verb. I can say, Google is a very good search engine. Google is a good search engine. I can also say, let's Google the word. This word that we don't understand, let's Google it. That a noun, which is a search engine, is now used as a verb. I'll Google you. Or you can say, bring me the bottle so that I can bottle the drink. Bring me the bottle so that I can bottle the drink. Bring me the bottle is a noun, it's an object. That I can bottle the drink is a verb. Can you think of words like this in English language apart from these ones? Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir.
Okay, no problem. If you don't want to respond, I can continue my lecture.
Doc, I will send you a WhatsApp message. I will WhatsApp you.
Okay. Thank you very much for WhatsApping me. So you have examples like we have to ship the goods. So you can send goods by ship. So we ship the goods. Then let's put a ship. Let's put the containers in the ship. Let's put a container in the ship. Having placed them in the ship, then we can ship the goods. Or it's also possible to have, these words are very common. I'll send you some PDF file. You can have something like, you want to import something. Let's import this machine. It's a verb. The machine that we import is an import. It's an import. Let's export cassava. So what we are selling to other countries is an export. Those ones too are very good. And you can explore these opportunities. We look at blending already. Look at Borrowing, every language borrows. One process that we're discussing right now is borrowing. Every language borrows. You will see in every language, even in Ghana, you see some items or names of items from another language finding their way into your language. And sometimes some of those words that are newly admitted into the language, you will know this one, the root is this word, the root is that word. English has borrowed from many languages. English is a kind of a positive language, borrows everything from many places. So a word like algebra is Arabic origin. Galore is Irish. Pizza is Italian. Crèche is French. Yogurt is Turkey. It's from Turkish. It's from Turkish. I think the language should be called Turkish, not Turkey. Wisdom tooth is from Latin. Kwashiko is from a Ghanaian language called Ga. When you say we borrow the thing, it's not a matter of just anybody just going to say, the person begins to use the word and we say it's borrowed. No. The word will find its way into a dictionary of English. So when you go to English dictionary, you can see Kwashiko there, which means that the word is borrowed and it finds its way into the dictionary. If it's not in the dictionary, you cannot say that it is borrowed. So one of the ways by which you test that a language is borrowed is if it is acceptable, is accepted into a dictionary of the language which is borrowing a particular item. So all these things we mentioned here, you can see them in English. Algebra, galore, pizza, crèche, yogurt, ashoko. Word like interim is from Latin. Pneumonia is from Greek. Veranda is from Hindi. Shampoo is Hindi. Café from French. Abattoir from French. Very good. The next item is called coinage. To coin something, coin it. Coinage in this case means the thing is existing. Sorry, the thing is existing. It may not have a name. Somebody just begin to call a name for it and the name sticks. The thing is there, it has no name. And somebody decides to say it is called this. That is all. Most of the time, coinage has to do with new products that are manufactured. Products that are manufactured, like somebody will manufacture washing powder, call it Omo. It's coined. Somebody manufactures a washing powder, calls it Clearsoft. It's coined. Somebody manufactures a camera, calls it Xerox or Canon. So that is how it is called forever. Somebody manufactures a photocopier, calls it Canon or maybe Xerox or whatever. So it is as if the item is giving birth to and must be named. So most of the things that are manufactured, whether it is Samsung or something, somebody that decided to call it Samsung, and that is all. One thing that are in Ghanaian language here, which is gaining currency or is very popular on the internet is Dumso, which I think was coined. Somebody decided to call it Dumso frequent power outages. And now you can see it in many texts. Even if you go online, you can see even foreigners use it to describe the situation. But I don't know whether it is accepted into the English language dictionary yet. But I think those are some of the examples that are coming up. So understand things like genocide, internet, blog, Google, aspirin, all these are coined. E-recruitment, not sports, an area where there is slow internet. So all these things are things that somebody just decided to just call to name a process or name a product or name a situation. Then everybody begins to call it like that, and that is how it is. You may know some of them yourself to add to the list. Because when I'm even asking, nobody is responding, so I don't know why I should continue waiting for somebody to answer. So let's look at the processes. We saw derivation, we saw borrowing, we saw blending, we saw clipping, we saw conversion, we saw compounding, we saw coinage, then abbreviation, and acronyms. These are very they are very close, but we can differentiate between them. So acronyms are words formed from the initials of a set of words. Initials of a set of words. So radio detection and ranging radar. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, laser. Some of these things I think you may have seen at your workplace before, or you may have heard about these things at least. Personal identification number, PIN. This one is not difficult. School of Nursing and Midwifery, SONA. University of Health and Allied Sciences, UHAS. World Health Organization, WHO. Now, one of the things that I want to mention here is some writers say that when the initials are put together and they sound like a word, you can just read them like a word. That is what we call acronyms. So if you say radar, it is as if you are saying a word. It's not like PWD, where you have to mention P, you have to mention W, you have to mention D. No. That's what some writers say. So radar is, you say it as if it's a word. Laser, you say it as if it's a word. Pin, as if it's a word. Sonar, UHAS, WHO. Other popular examples are something like ECOWAS. ECOWAS. So there's a bit of confusion because some writers will say when a word is pronounced as a word, the initials come together and they behave as a word. Is an acronym. But if you mention them one by one, then they are abbreviations. So for example, PWD may not be an acronym. It's an abbreviation. Something like UN. UN is not, UN cannot be an acronym. It is an abbreviation, UN. But something like NATO, capital NATO, NATO, could be an acronym because it sounds like a word. You pronounce it as if it's a word. Okay. So these are some of the examples we have here. We're talking about abbreviation. It's a word form, a word formation process in which a word or phrase is shortened by the initial letters of a word or phrase. So here we are looking at it, say it is shortened. So if somebody says APR, full stop, is a full form of April. DEPT, full stop, is department. MR, full stop. Mr. DR, full stop. Doctor. CM, centimeters. So you can see, even this is very interesting, that most of the time the abbreviated forms have full stop at the end, not all of them anyway. So it's very controversial anyway. But that is it. So that is all that we have for word formation processes. I think my job is done for today. If you have any questions to ask, you can ask.
Mr. Sumidi, I'm not mabaha etiko naba.
Well, if you don't have any questions to ask, then I move that we close the class.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. With regards to the coinage, I want to know at what point or at what stage is
I couldn't hear.
a word become the English word? I want to find out.
At what point?
Hello, Doc.
Is that like?
Please, can you hear me?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, with regards to the coinage.
Yes. I mean, at what point is what?
Like, at what point is it after publishing a word become acceptable in the English language?
I
Is it
think
maybe
that
when you bring up something or when you publish it?
it's just like you have a child. Just like you have a child, a newborn baby, and then you say, today I'm naming my child. And then people come together and they say, what is the child's name? And somebody will, maybe the priest or the elder who is, or the old man or woman who is leading the program will say, this is the child's name. So it is pronounced. As it is pronounced like that, that is the end. That is how we call the child. So my understanding is that if something has come now, let's say something has come and has come with a name, we probably will be calling it borrowed. The thing has come with its name, and then we begin to call it that name. I think we say we borrowed it from that language or the concept or the item. But when a thing exists, it doesn't have a name. Or maybe when it is manufactured, it's only one person who say this is called this and that, or it will everybody begins to call it like that. So I was trying to set the example of Doomso. Somebody maybe just came either making a speech and decided to call it like that. In this case, somebody can also argue that it's borrowed from a can. Sorry. Yeah, because if you say Doomso, basically we know it's a can or tree. Somebody can argue anyway. So that word can serve two purposes. Maybe the person borrowed it and used it to coin a concept. So somebody can argue in two directions to say this is coin, but it's the original word is Akan, so it's borrowed. Somehow the person can be correct. But if somebody manufactured his phone in China or so, or Korea, and say it's called Samsung, it's coined, or whether it is TV or washing machine, they say this is called Samsung washing machine. It is Samsung washing machine, so it is coined because we never heard that thing before. And when the name is given to it, everybody begins to call it that name. So we say it's coined. I will send the slides to you, and maybe I also try to see. I'm recording this thing. I'll see what I can place it. I'll post it to the course prefect to distribute for those who may be interested in the Zoom meeting.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc. Okay.
Yeah, please, I want to find out if Galamsey is one of the lineage or where can we classify it?
Well, unfortunately, I understand that Galamsey is an English word which was probably put together, and then I think that those who may have been pronouncing it may not be very, excuse me to say, they may not be well versed in English. So Galamsey, according to those who research into some of these things, they say, gather them and sell. Gather them and sell. Galamsey. That is what we are told in some people who did research into these things. So that one, I would say, is a corrupt form of gather them and sell, which was put together by people who may not be so much educated and cannot say it exactly the way you and I will say it. So gather them and sell. I don't know which process I can call it now. Probably it's a coinage because we never heard that thing before. And somebody decided to say, okay, I cannot say the way these people are saying it. So the thing is Galamsey. We are going to do Galamsey. What is Galamsey? We are going to gather them and sell. So maybe somebody rose up one day and began to call it like that, and it has gained currency. In other words, it has gained popularity to the extent that now you can even find them in the newspapers and everything. So I think it's coined.
Okay.
Doc, please.
Yeah.
Please, can you put the slide where I will send you an email.
I'll send you what?
I want a question on it. Like it is now on compound. If you can take it back to where it is written, I will send you an email.
What's the process? I'm asking you, what's the process?
I want to ask.
I know we want to ask, but what is the process? What name did you give to it when we were discussing it?
You're talking about
went off. I couldn't hear you, but yes, I will send you an email today. I will email you today. So Doc, please, so if I'm to rewrite there, I will send you an email.
I can't hear well. Either your network is poor or mine is poor. I don't know. I cannot hear well. The line is breaking.
Maybe it's from my side because it's raining heavily here. I will send you an email today.
Yes.
And for example, you bring this and I will mail you today. Is it correct?
Why don't you say why won't you say I'll email you? Because it's possible to say I'll mail you and it could be by the ordinary mail, post office mail. So there's a difference between email and mail. So what I'm trying to say is the word email is a noun. Because if you are thinking about and, if you see and before the word, basically the thing is a noun. An orange, an iPhone. I will send you an email. So email is a noun. But when I say I'll email you today, I'll email you. I will email you. There should be I will email you today. Then email is now used as a verb. Hello?
Okay. Okay, yes.
I don't know whether I understand your question. I'll email you today.
Yes.
I will send you an email. Oh, don't worry, I'm in a hurry, so I'll send you an email. It's a noun. You open your device, you see an email. What's the message? But I can also say, I will email you today, where email now assumes the status of a verb. Any more questions?
Okay.
If there are no more questions, then I think we'll close. I'm not going to have my supper, so we'll schedule meetings and we'll see how we can complete the syllabus, the course outline. Tomorrow is not good for me. Maybe Thursday or Friday, you can fix something. Until then I wish you well.
Thank
you.
you.